Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Flo, I guess, and that's the first time I'm doing something like that, and it will be a fucking mess. I can tell you that already. But I had purchased a copy of the latest VOIVOD Forgotten in Space box, and as you might know or not, I am a huge VOIVOD fan, and at the same time, I'm not such a huge Boxset fan. Normally, I really, on just a couple of occasions, I get kind of weak, and then I have to get me a copy of, like, from the Bruce Dickinson box set, or the, of course, famous Maiden Best of the Beast box set 20 odd years ago. But otherwise, I stay away because most of the time I have all the stuff with me, right behind me, and I don't need it. And with this thing here, it is pretty similar, meaning I have most of the stuff already in my shelf, but it's VOIVOD, and I love VOIVOD, so I gotta do it, and I did. And because it is, I think it's, I have to admit, it's pretty great. And because of that, I thought, why not giving it a shot and doing that for the first time to show you and tell you something about it, and show you how these things actually look. I'm not going to edit anything of that, so it will be awkward as hell. Potentially I'm going off Instagram, YouTube, social media, whatsoever for the next 3 months. See ya at some point, but let's do this. I mean, so what? Let me show you first. That was the box. I did not have, you know what. Here's the box, and just by the looks of it, already the front cover, it's, you see that, how this is with the light and everything? I think this is pretty nicely done. And the back of it, which I honestly, I'm not really getting it. There's a sticker at the back of it. You can remove it, and apparently there's some additional artwork there as well, but I actually didn't have the guts to remove it so far. So I kept it on there, but totally different story. But at the same time, pretty similar story. Here's the Overkill box. They put on a sticker at the back as well, and I don't know, it just looks dirt cheap. Why are you doing this? You can, I guess you can remove it too, you see it here. But I guess there's no artwork on the back side anyway. So it's just bloody cheap. Atlantic, Bertelsmann Group, what the hell? Maybe I'm doing another video for this one here because I have a lot to tell you about it. But that's not what we're looking at today. Today it's VOIVOD, Forgotten in Space. This thing features all the Noise albums only. From 1986 to 1988. On top, you will have a demo LP with the demos from Dimension Hatteras, and you will have a live record, a double LP actually. We get to this, so bear with me. We're almost 4 minutes in. Take a seat, grab a coffee, and let's go through them. So I'm opening it up. The way you opening up also is also quite nice, and I have to take care that I damaged that whole thing. If you open it up, you see there's also an inner sleeve box print, which is also kind of nice. And then let's start it off with the album and the title that I really have no clue how to pronounce. When I speak to my German dudes, I always go like, this is rrr, and I'm doing that right now as well. This is rrr. I have no clue. But this is it. That's coming from the box set, and what I immediately recognized, they, I guess, messed around a little bit with the artwork. Because This is a reissue I have. The damn lights are, you can see that. And when you compare these two, then you see, first, this has a matte finish. This is glossy, the reissue. And they, I guess, and that it's true for all of those albums here in that box set, I think they grade it out somehow. And therefore it looks pretty stylish, I have to admit that. I have to give them that. But at the same time, it's kind of weird, because I'm used to that for many, many years. But it has something, gotta admit. And they were pretty true to the original inner sleeves as well for the albums, at least. Here are the pictures, here are the lyrics in the famous handwritten font from Away, from the drummer. And all of those albums are coming in really, again, I have to give them that, really beautiful pressings. So this is rare with the red and black splatter. Sound-wise, it is it's interesting. And that said, I'm not a sound engineer at all, and I'm not an audiophile at all. At the end of the day, I'm doing all of that and collecting all of that because I like the music and I like to have it on vinyl. I think it's fun. I do think it sounds better, but if you ask me why, I could come up with the usual stuff like, it sounds warmer. It's true, but that's not really an educated statement to make, I guess. However, I have, I guess, a pretty good hearing, and if we're recording something with our band and something is off, then I can hear that pretty well and can say, hey, there's something off, can you have a look at it? And sometimes the producer would say, oh, yeah, you're right, I forgot to switch that one off or on or whatever it is. So hearing-wise, I'm okay, but I cannot explain it because I'm not that bright. And with those records, I have compared all of them to the originals or the reissues that I have. And I'm coming back again to that Overkill box, but I have to stay away from it because that's potentially a separate video. I have the impression that these things are lower in volume overall. They do not sound that lively. They are not that present when you compare it with the originals or the reissues. Maybe it would make sense to come back to that later at some point, but when you listen to those vinyl box sets things, it's fine. When you don't compare anything, you just listen to it and you play it, and it's solid. There's no way to complain about it. Sounds good. It's only when you compare those with the other versions that I have, and then you notice there's something different with the way the reissues and the originals sound. They are really more present. They're in your face. They are loud up to a point where you think maybe that's a little bit too chaotic, but that's part of the VOIVOD deal anyway, I guess, for my taste. That the VOIVOD stuff lives a lot from being so chaotic and being so wild and raw. So you have that on the originals. You still have, of course, the music on those reissues here in that box set, but it's a little bit more mellow, maybe is the word, or rounded off. Maybe that's the right choice of word. It is cut off the edges, I think. It's more digestible. It's easier to digest. Moving on to the next one, Killing Technology from 1987. Now, And folks, I could go on for hours to talk about those albums and how they literally changed my life and the way I listen to music. But I guess then we're really here in 1 hour and you are gone in terms of either falling asleep or outside in the summer, wherever you are. But I'm not going into the music that much, but show you just the record. So Killing Technology, always again, just amazing to revisit that thing. And the inner sleeves with the famous picture, and again the lyrics, and again very nice color version, green and what is that, pink, red, violet. Whoops. Also the same thing regarding the sound. Nothing really to complain when you listen to it. Even if you compare it, there's not too much to complain about. It's just different, I would say. Then we come to, oh, hold on. I wanted to show you the difference in the cover artworks. Again, this is a reissue from Noise from, I'm not sure, 2018, 2017, I guess, 18. And this is the new one from the box. And I'm not sure if you definitely see that this one here is glossy and this one is not. But maybe you get the idea what I mentioned earlier, that this thing, it looks stylish. Definitely with that matte finish, and here with the glossy. I guess it's a question of your personal preference. What do you like? They're awesome anyway, I guess. But they definitely played around with that cover artwork. Album number 3 in that box set. It is actually number 4 from VOIVOD overall, because the debut album War and Pain is not part of the box set. I think War and Pain was released in Europe, I guess, by Roadrunner Records, and in the US and other parts of the world by Metal Blade. So it's not part of the set. This is the last studio album from this box set. Dimension Headrush. Is it Dimension or Dimension? You get the idea. Same story here with the other two that we already saw, meaning matte finish, compared right away to the original. That's an original press I have. This one's actually a promo, as I have noticed after I bought it, because it has the promo sheet inside in German and in English. Yeah, and you see here again this is glossy, this is not. Potentially at least for some folks, the classic VOIVOD album from at least the early ages. Here we have the inner sleeve, again the picture and the lyrics. And also, I think, pretty cool and really fitting and stylish color. And I have to admit that I love to do that, at least sometimes, and you see, I think it's pretty rad. So, this was from 1988, and after Dimension Headrush, VOIVOD moved on, although in 1989 there was Nothing Face, the album. And in Germany it was still released by Noise Records. But in other parts of the world it was MCA and Mechanics. And I guess that's the reason why they haven't included it in here, because these three were the only ones where they had the global deal for their studio albums with Noise, and therefore they kept everything out. I believe in the recent Record Store Day in the US they have re-released Nothing Face and Angel Red. Maybe it has even something to do with it. I have no idea. I'm just talking crap here, I guess. Making shit up. The next one that we're having in the box is Dimension Headdress, the demos. And it is fairly similar to what I mentioned earlier about box sets. I'm really not too crazy about demos and demo release compilations and what have you. Especially when you consider, when you think back and the CD was introduced, and bands and labels, they just loaded everything into a CD until nothing could be added anymore, until it was fully packed. And they put on demos and the demo of the demo and the classical demo and the... Think about the Maiden releases, Iron Maiden releases in the 90s, where they were just so bloody lazy putting on that stupid demo versions on it, just to blow the album and get into 74 minutes, and what a drag. Nobody really listened to that. This one here is a little different. First of all, it's on vinyl. It is part of the box set. It has the demos from Dimension Headdress, and it has a pretty red color too. And the color you will see here. I really, really love that. It is pretentious as fuck to go through your vinyl records and show, oh, look at that color. I don't even know if folks are really listening to that stuff or just buying the whole shit because of the color. When I asked folks for the Overkill record, forget it. The thing is, of course, sound-wise, this is subpar. Make no mistake, and don't get fooled. Don't expect that this is an audiophile pressing is nice, but an audiophile recording of that music. I guess they just put it from the tape. You can hear the rattling and everything from the tape. If you're into history lessons, then listen to it. I did. I actually did. And I think it's really, really interesting to hear what they've done prior to the actual recording. I think they recorded it in Berlin, 1987-ish, 80-ish, with Harris Jones. And it's, you know, I told you I love VOIVOD. I love VOIVOD, I think, at least in the second spot for Piggy's guitar playing. There is a compilation out from from who is it? Let me check. I'll be right back. Bear with me. I'm still here. I am still here. I need to find it. I cannot find it. There it is. The To the Death 84 demos. And when you listen to that thing and you think the guy, or all the guys really, were, I don't know, in their 18, 19, 20 years old, it's absolutely mind-blowing what they did, even back then. 83, 80, 82 even sometimes, right? It's absolutely insane. And how they developed their sound and how they evolved over time in such a short time span. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I've never seen any other band doing it like that. Even in that box set, if you listen to Rur and then to Dimension Heteros, there are just 2 years in between. It's insane. Rur is noise. I love it, but it's like you have a mix between Venom, Slayer, and Motorhead. It's actually quite accurate. And 2 years later, you have, I don't know, maybe a mixture between Venom and Pink Floyd. I have no idea. But this is what I love about VOIVOD in the first place, that they really evolved so fast. They were so courageous. They didn't give a shit what their fan base, if their fan base is going with them, they just did what needed to be done. It just got out of them. And now coming back to the demos collection, you can hear it, what they were up to when they were writing that stuff. And therefore it's really interesting comparing those demo sessions with the final album versions of those songs. Sometimes you hear on the demos they are slower, sometimes they are faster, and you hear bits and pieces and how they put them together for the demo. Really nice. I guess I would listen to that thing more frequently from the box set than, of course, the albums, because I know the albums, right? The last vinyl album of this thing is a live record, a double live LP. No Speed Limit Weekend 1986, recorded live in Montreal at the Spectrum in October 1986, which is interesting because they are already playing songs from Killing Technology, which was apparently, at that time, it wasn't released yet, but they have written the songs, obviously. So you have Tornado on it, you have Killing Technology already on it, Overreaction. No, look, I'm full of shit. It was not Killing Technology, the song, it was Overreaction and Tornado from Killing Technology. It is a gatefold, which is also nice, and you have these nice pictures inside. And again, it's really nice color. Now it's a green and black splatter. There are no printed inner sleeves, and by the way, in case you fancy that, there are no. It's just a plain paper sleeve. What you see in here, I put these in from Spin Care. These things. Maybe I should tell her I don't get money out of that at all. I'm just showing you stuff. This is just a plain paper sleeve for the live album and for the demo. And because I really I don't like them, so I put on these plastic bags on top. Sound-wise, it is pretty decent. I was surprised. I expected something more. Well, it's raw, definitely. I mean, it's from 1986. It's VOIVOD Live 1986. What do you expect? But it's really okay. There's nothing to I would argue about. But at the same time, I have to tell you that I'm not too crazy about. I'm crazy about a real live album. I love, even when there are mistakes in it, when there are playing mistakes, when You hear the crowd, and you hear the actual crowd, and not some foolish playback some hideous idiot put in, as you could hear it on many Live's albums, especially from the metal scene recently. Just a drag. Why are they doing that? Because I can tell you why. Because in front of the stage, there are always the 50 and 60-year-old guys who do not have any power anymore to go, yay! So they just have to put something in there. It doesn't sound so sad. That's it. And in 1986, nobody sounded sad, neither Voivod nor the crowd. You can hear them, you can hear Voivod, they were thrashing like fuck. It's awesome. It is. The songs are beautiful. It's, if you're a Voivod fan, if you're a thrash metal fan, just for these two alone, even if you have the studio albums, go for it. That's at least my take on it. I have to say, I was skeptical, and I really wasn't sure if I should really get it, because I have all these albums, as I said. But do it. And talking about do it, you should also do it because of this. This is a 40-page book, really, called Cosmic Drama, with a lot of photos, really nicely done, with the intro page and the logo, and then you go through the intro from Michael Away. You have loads of photos in here. You have the Voivod story, you have the art from Away, the different logos over the years, Piggy. He is, by the way, my favorite guitar player of all time, and I hope he rests easy. It is, in 2005, I remember it very quite vividly still. We were living in Wiesbaden, and in 2005 we stayed up really fucking late, always. And I remember being on my computer and doing something, I guess, on the internet. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and there, at one point, there was the news coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't hold it together. It was really, really a shock. I knew that he was sick, but that he was really then losing the battle against cancer was really a shock. And while I look at that picture right now, here's the thing. I told Alina, my wife, just recently, the thing about Voivod, and especially in the 80s, but I think it's true also for today, the thing with them is, when you look at them, they look awesome. They look like they're really coming from outer space, and it has something to them. They look great as a band. They look great as a band, from a thrash metal band or the science fiction metal band, however you want to call it. They just had something. Every one of them. And there are more pictures in here where you would see, I guess, and I hope, what I mean. Let me show you another one, if I can find it now. Even that one. At the bottom of the page. I mean, look at those dudes and tell me this is a perfect metal band. They're just the greatest metal band ever. There, I said it. If you asked me maybe 15 years ago, I would have said Maiden, but then Maiden fucked me up, and Maiden couldn't go to hell now. It's a little bit harsh, but I'll tell you the story any other time, but not today. Today it's really about Voivod. Here's the bit of art from Away. 40 pages. You have something to see, something to read. Here they're in front of the Berlin Wall. Since I recorded their 80s albums always in Berlin, Makes sense, right? So great book. And we're not done yet. We have also, and let me show you that. We also have a DVD, and that DVD is, they put this in here. You have a documentary in here with interviews and live videos, live footage. I have not watched this yet. And you have a memory stick, still in plastic. I'm not even sure if I put it on the plastic. But you can see, this is how they put this together. And just by that, it makes sense to grab a copy, if you ask me. I guess you have not asked, but I'll tell you anyway. I think you, if you're a VOIVOD fan, again, I'm not getting money out of that at all. I'm just telling you because I love you and I'm a VOIVOD fan. And you should be too, I guess. I guess that's it. I guess that's it. So, folks, in case you're still here, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it if you're still around. I had fun talking about VOIVOD. I always have fun talking about VOIVOD. I think I covered everything, and I hope I covered everything. If not, I'll let you know sooner or later. And maybe if you are not sending death threats now, I'll do the same thing with that freaking overkill box. But then viewer discretion will be advised because there will be a lot of swearing, I guess. Maybe not, but maybe. I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Flo, and you're great, and see ya.